Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com. I have three Spaniards in front of me. Do they have much in common? Well, not really. They're from, I suppose they're all from the northern bit of Spain, but I've got one from Navarra, one from Rioja, and one from Penedes. But in terms of grape varieties, well, let's just get into them. We'll see. I'll talk about them as we go along. So, first one is El Patito Feo, which apparently means the ugly duckling, from Navarra, made from the Graciano grape. Now, Graciano is often used as seasoning alongside Tempranillo in Rioja. Tends to be like, the Tempranillo will be like 85-90%, then a smidgen of Graciano, and maybe another little smidgen of another one, Mazuelo, maybe some Garnacho. Mazuelo's the same as Carignan, and and Garnacha is the same as Grenache. So, but here it gets starring role. There's a few people in Rioja who also do 100% Graciano, but can't remember whether I've seen a Navarra one that's 100% before. Anyway, let's get me conch in there. Now, it smells warm, rounded and juicy. Got a slight dustiness to it, but it's this really pure, plush, blueberry, very ripe blackcurrant flavour coming through. Not so much the Cabernet Sauvignon, it's almost like a bit fleshier and heartier than that. Almost as if there is something a bit beefy, like, he choked, like some Garnacha in there, but it says it's 100% Graciano. Certainly when I've seen Graciano in Rioja, tends to be a little bit more fragrant than this, but maybe not as full-bodied. But let's see how we get on. Well, it's an interesting wine because it's got this plush side, it's got this dark fruit, it's also got some like red berries in there, but then it's got this spiciness that comes through on the finish, and something a little leathery almost. It's a very young wine. What I mean by the leather, it's almost like a fresh leather rather than a very seasoned leather. Feels like maybe there's still some of the winemaking leftovers that need to relax into the bottle and soften out. But what time are we here? Just come in for 1 o'clock. I think come this evening, I think it will have relaxed a little bit more into its bottle. At the moment, it's this nice mix of youthful jumpiness, but then this dusty, warm spice as well. And yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit. And I think later on I might like it even more. Let's try the Rioja. This is Tesco's own label, Viña Mara Reserva Rioja, made for them by Baron de Lay. 2006 vintage, and so Reserva has to have been, I think it's got to have been in a barrel for a year, and it's got to have at least a couple more years aging on top of that. Let's give it a whirl. Different set of grape varieties here, but still that same dusty Spanish warmth that I get on quite a lot of Spanish wines, almost regardless of the grape variety and region. And here you can sense that little bit of coconut from American oak here. I'm not sure whether there was too much oak on the first one. Certainly it was plush and friendly and fruity, but there was something I don't know if that leathery edge was from oak there, but here it's more on the classic spice, the coconut, and but it's got this warm, friendly fruit, raspberries, strawberries, and maybe even just a little hint of orange peel. You get that in quite a lot of Rioja. It's a nice crossover between ancient and modern. So it's got this soft, warm, juicy berry fruit, and that coconut and clove giving it the classic Rioja softness, but it's not got any of the slightly washed out, faded, I've been over oaked character that certain styles of Rioja can have. I mean, it's weird. It says on the back, drink within 2 years. Feels for me like a wine that's got quite a bit more life ahead of it beyond 2 years, because the finish I'm left with, it's got this juiciness of acidity. It's got the orange and the red berry fruit, but then this juiciness and the tannin as well keeps my mouth entertained, keeps it fresh, keeps me want to come back for more. And if, again, as with the Graciano, feels like a wine that in a few hours' time will be showing even better than it is now. Let's get on to the last one, and so we're in Penedes now. We are moving into Catalonia, and a completely different set of grape varieties here. From what I remember, this is basically a Bordeaux blend. Gran Caus from the Can Rafols dels Caus winery in Penedes, and it's their 2001. So I think it's one of those wines that started off like 40%. It was like 40% Cab Franc, 40% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. I think Merlot is now, it's like 45 Merlot and 35 Cab Franc. And anyway, it's a Bordeaux blend. Let's see whether it is a Bordeaux blend with a Spanish accent. I have to say it's much more Spanish than Bordeaux. It's got, again, this warm dustiness. It's got this almost dusty brick or terracotta tile type of yeah. This, if you get that smell off those roof tiles on a hot summer day in Spain. And in terms of the fruit, it almost feels like the oak aging. I don't think it's been in oak for heaps and heaps of time, but it's maybe it's maybe just like taken the edge of freshness off the fruit, maybe taken a little bit more of an edge off it than I would like. But that's first smell. Let's have a taste. Very much that Spanish legacy here. The warmth, the dustiness, the tinge of vanilla. The berry fruit, but soft berry fruit. It doesn't feel like there's any bite in there. It's like the sort of berry fruits that you don't really need teeth for. You can put it in your mouth and just sort of chomp around. Have they overdone the oak, or is it a bottle where maybe the cork has taken a little bit touch of freshness off it? It's 10 years old. It may just be that it's on its way out and was better a few years ago. Certainly I miss a little bit of freshness, but almost the sort of wine that I want to put a little dab of the Graciano in there just to see what it looks like and see if it livens it up. But I wouldn't do that on camera. Oh, would I? Hey, or I might. Hey, have to watch that for that another time. See you soon.